Before I begin, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and the elders, the great millstone that rule well and that teach well, and also shalom and salutations to the fellow brethren and the laborers that are laboring in this work as well. So this lesson that I'm going to be getting into today is going to be about the enemies of the nation of Israel. You see, because the Lord has enemies, you know. Also, the nation of Israel has enemies, you know, and an enemy, they seek your hurt. You know, they don't seek your welfare, but they seek your hurt. And that's what these different nations around the nation of Israel are seeking towards us, man. You know, which the nation of Israel consists of the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You see, there's 18 nations on the planet Earth, but the nation of Israel, which is one of the 18, is the chosen nations. You know, is the nation that the Lord has had put his name upon, you know? But the other 17 nations, they're enemies, you know, beginning with the nation of Edom. Matter of fact, let's get this in Psalms 83 and verse 1. And it says, "Keep not thou silence, O Most High, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head." You see, so the Lord has enemies. Did not King David also say, "Do I not hate them that hate thee? I hate them, my enemy. I count them my enemies. I hate them with a perfect hatred." So the Lord has enemies. You see, and the Lord hates too. You know? But just to zoom in, the Lord in particular hates the so-called white man, the Edomites, the race or the nation of Edom. The Lord, that's, you know, they hate Esau. The Lord hates Esau, man. You know, unlike any other nation. Verse 2 again, it says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." You see, so the whole modus operandi of these other nations, which are our enemies, you know, their whole modus operandi is to cut us off from being a nation, to erase the remembrance of the nation of Israel from off the earth, man. You know? But in particular, the so-called white man, the so-called white race, which are known as the biblical Edomites. You know, their whole MO is to destroy the nation of Israel, to completely do away with the nation of Israel. You know, reading on, it says, "For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee." You see, so these different nations, they've come together, you know, just to conjure up ideas on how they can keep us at the bottom, how they can keep us completely destroyed, man. You know, matter of fact, let me get this real quick. This is the book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 11. It says, "Now also many nations are gathered against thee, that say, Let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion." You see, so that's the whole MO of these other nations, you know, to see us defiled, to see us destroyed, you know, and to just mock and scoff at us, man, when we're at the bottom, as they're doing now. You know, for an example, you know, these so-called white people, you know, the so-called white man, you know, the conversations they have about Jake, you know, behind closed doors is mockery, man. Look at that nigger, you know, things like that. But then when it's out in the open, they act like all is well, you know, they act like they love you, but really behind closed doors, they hate you with, you know, perfect hatred. It says, "Now all," Slakia, Micah 4 and verse 11, it says, "Now also many nations are gathered against thee, that say, Let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. But they know not the thoughts of the Lord Yahweh, neither understand they his counsel. for he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. You see? So they don't know the intents and purposes of Yahweh Shemashai. Because them coming up against the nation of Israel is really, you are really coming up against the Lord. Oh, and Zechariah says, he that toucheth you, he toucheth the apple of my eye. So if you touch or deal with the nation of Israel a particular way, you're basically dealing with the Lord's delicate parts, man, like his eye. It's like you're trying to poke the Lord's eye, man. And there's gonna be a recompense for that, man. So let's go back to Psalms 83 and verse 5. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. So we're gonna get a list of these different nations that are confederate against the nation of Israel. It says the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Say Lot. You see, so it's headed by the Edomites, which is the so-called white man. You see? So let's go from there to the book of Lamentations 2 and verse 15. It says, all that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, Is this the city that men call the profession of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? So that's a part of the mockery when they see us in our low state. They enjoy it. It says, all thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we looked for. We have found it. We have seen it. You see, so this is what, gets them going, so to speak. Gets them aroused up, man. This is what gets them hard. The fact that we're at the bottom and completely destroyed. But little did they know that the Lord has or is preparing to clean up the nation of Israel and set them back to being the profession of beauty, that standard. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Hakadash. Until next time, Shalom.